And how much does that take out of our budget in a year? How much does the tax cost the county nursing home in a year?
We have budgeted for 405.
405,000 that we pay to the state. So the revenues that we bring in to the nursing home, 405,000 goes to pay a state bed tax. Okay. You know the logic of the bed tax? Do you know where the money goes? I have no idea. Does it go in the general fund, or is it used to?
You have to ask a rep.
Goes somewhere and then to the federal government, and they give us back the money that comes here and pays.
So it's the state tax.
Pays the bills.
Okay. I'll talk to somebody else about it. Our wait list has grown by how much?
It's a very large wait list.
And that's because of the new nursing home. Essentially, I mean, you had a wait list in the old nursing home, but you've seen an increase in it.
I would say so.
Okay.
You know, the concern that has been mentioned is the issues of, okay, so someone left, so why isn't, you know, but the bed isn't cool, you know, and why don't we have another resident in that bed
that afternoon?
But the issue is, you've got to remember that the person on the wait list has to be interviewed. You have to make sure that they got the appropriate information, you know, whatever, you work up to that, and then they may decline the bed.
They meet the criteria.
So, meet the criteria. So, you know, it's not as...
No, my question wasn't based on the fact that I think that you're taking too long to get people in. It's just that there are more and more people that want to get in.
Yeah, so. there's a lot of interest.
Yes, Mr. Babson.
Sandy, I had a question asked me recently by a constituent. If we have 20 people on the wait list, and Robert Eldridge has lived here all his life and now wants to pay taxes and wants to get into the nursing home, does he go to the bottom of the list, or does he get priority?
Is he a private pay, or is he on Medicare?
Does he meet the criteria? We can do that.
I don't think it's as easy as that. I mean, I can't say that the county people are always at the front, and I don't know as much perhaps about the process. Need and the acuity of the resident certainly plays a part of it. You know,
so a taxpayer that's paid all their life here in Ossipee to the county and to the town basically doesn't get priority.
I can't say that. I don't know. I don't know enough about where people are placed. I will tell you that.
Is there a way to find that out?
I will do that. I will also tell you that if we have someone that's in desperate need in the community, and I say in the community, when you talk, we don't.
It's a county nursing.
It's a county nursing home, you know. So I guess I look at, if you were out and needed care, and we were able to give you care, versus another situation, perhaps you would have a greater need right now than someone that was in a secure environment.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that play into it.
I think the difference is, you're thinking it's the difference between priority, which is can be medically and socially based, as opposed to preferential because you're a resident of Carroll County, right?
And I'll check that.
I'm glad you're here to translate for me.
It's the benefit I get from commuting with you.
Right, but a resident of the county, you would think, should get
some kind of priority.
Right.
And I mean, this could be a very moot point. You know, I will go back and talk to our admissions person. That's the reason why I have an admissions person.
Yeah.
But that speaks to your whole question about getting guidance from county government on what the nursing home should accomplish.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why you have a mission statement.
Okay. Any further questions of the nursing home?
I just want to do this. Thank you. Welcome home.
Well, you've done an excellent job, Sandy. You've made a lot of reductions. It's going to depend now on the union contract as to how much the budget goes up. But otherwise, you've done the best you can. There's a couple of areas we need to look at, but otherwise, it's good. Yes, Mr. Babson.
I made a note here on somewhere. Sandy talked about there were 2 LNAs that wanted to further their education.
Yes.
Is there, and if there isn't, shouldn't we have in our contract or be negotiating that if we pay for somebody's education, there is some kind of a commitment to come back here? Do we have?
Yes,
we do.
Good.
Yep. And we've had that happen in the past where they've gone to become an RN fairly recently. Was it the last couple of years?
Now, what's the criteria? You work here till they pay back the same amount of dough, or is it done on a time basis, or?
I think it's
I
2
believe
years.
it's 2 years after they complete their education.
Oh, good, okay.
I think it's 2
Thank you.
years, yeah, yeah. Now, if we could only work something out where an RN, we could put in the job description that in case of emergencies, they could go over to the jail at night, in the evening, we might be able to pay a little more.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Sandy. Are you gonna come back next week with a decrease in the budget?
Well, we'd like to come back and answer the questions and probably finalize what we have and hopefully have a Medicaid number.
And you're meeting with us tomorrow at,
I cannot attend.
you can't, at 10 o'clock.
I
Okay.
cannot, but Cheryl's gonna be, I can't attend. And I was surprised when it was that date, but
Okay.
I have
What about the
tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be there.
29th?
Yep.
Okay,
I'll send them the information.
what's that?
Commissioner's office, and I'll send the information forward to both you and Cheryl that I gave you this morning.
Okay, okay, so you've had a chance to look at it?
No, I
You
didn't
haven't?
send it. I just printed it.
Okay,
out.
we need your comments.
Okay. I'm meeting with Robin this afternoon anyway. So I
We're
can,
missing one thing on here, but that's just.
And please take a close look at, what do we call that system that we have?
Episodes.
So many steps.
Episodes.
What?
Episodes.
Episodes. Take a close look at that and see if we want to eliminate that.
Well, we did put.
We have one commissioner that really feels strongly that it ought to be eliminated. And if there's something else that we can do in lieu of it, my understanding is the episodes are not helping the process that we have. Take a look at that,
I will.
if you could.
I'll bring this up.
Okay.
This
All right,
afternoon.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes,
Mr. Chairman, is there a possibility in the future on these things where we haven't completed the year and we're basing it on 9 months, that we could remove the revised 212 column, move over one and put someplace in here the anticipated annual expense, which would be 9 divided into the number multiplied by 12, and that would give us what the estimated use, a rough estimate of what the annual usage that year might be. I find this very confusing to sit here and divide by 9 and multiply by 12 and then find out, then have to look and see what the projected.
but you can go
plan is.
back and look at 209 and 210.
Yeah, but this is.
They're actuals.
You can't look at that'll help you for 210, but that doesn't help you what we spent this year.
True. But that revised 2012 is for us,
Yeah,
commissioners
but
to
why
put in.
can't you drop that out once the year is ended, or you get the final figures for the column that would be the anticipated one? Now you know the completed year. You could go back to using revised 2012 for the whatever you use it for.
Yeah.
Can you really base 09 and 010 now with the new nursing home?
Well, we can't base
Right, but I mean,
11 either.
there is gonna be some change.
Yeah.
With
Yep.
the new nursing home, so.
Yep.
09 and 10 may not be as accurate as they were before.
Yep.
You could make it smaller, and then one of these categories where it says supplies, buy some magnifying glasses.
We'll take it under advisement, Mr.
Squeeze it in there. I think it'd be really helpful, Dave, because it
Okay.
is, when you're sitting here, I can give you a couple examples I did here that make the figures Sandy gave look like they're either way too low or way too high, but
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
an estimate.
Okay. Okay, John, have you got any new information for us for IT? We need to come up with some figures here by at least that next week
Okay,
as to what we're gonna have for a contract for next year. And combining the sheriff, do the whole complex.
okay.
Can you do that for next week?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have any idea right now as to how much time you're gonna be putting in the sheriff's department?
I can tell you, the sheriff's department alone will be a similar amount of time to the rest of the departments combined, just because of the complexity of that system.
Okay.
I'm-
Same amount of time, roughly?
Yes, roughly the same amount of time.
Do you foresee reducing that amount of time?
To some degree, yes. I think there are some ways that I can streamline some of the processes. But the software that runs the dispatch center is probably the most complex software package out of
Everything else we have?
everything else, including the jail.
Yeah, yeah.
And right now I'm in the midst of trying to do an update because they are considerably behind on their software revision,
The sheriff's department?
Sheriff's Department.
Yeah.
Because they had a version that Captain Myers liked and it worked well, and he saw no reason to update it. But, so we're at this point, we're 4 versions behind, and I was actually in there this morning at 5 a.m. trying to do that update, and completely failed as of about an hour ago, so we had to basically back out, put them back on what they are, and we'll start all over again next week.
Mhm.
And those updates to anything having to do with dispatch, when I take them offline, I have to do basically early in the morning.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Okay, is it mostly dispatch, or is it sheriff's department, or
The
are they tied in together?
the critical areas are the dispatchers and the 2 women in the civil department. Because without those departments, the sheriff's department has a very difficult time functioning.
Mm-hmm.
So the overall focus is to keep those 5 machines fully operational 24/7. If the deputies themselves can't get on a computer and check their email or do whatever, file their report, not a big deal. They can do it by hand or wait a few hours. That's not our
Yeah.
critical need.
Yep,
But the dispatchers, they dispatch for over 90
yep,
agencies. When they go down, it is critical.
okay.
So everything in that department has been designed to keep those 5 machines operational 24/7, or if there is a problem, to get them back up and running immediately.
Yeah, yeah. Could you give us a priority list of the whole complex? What would need to be done first? I know you talked about the server for this building is a critical thing that needs to be done. And the administration down in our office can wait
Yep.
a year or 2. But if you could put in there what needs to be done and plan it out for the next 5 years.
Sure. Yes, Rob and I have discussed that in detail.
Okay.
We'll put it down in a succinct list for you and present it to you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Can we put you on the agenda for next week
Yes, you can.
at 8:30?
Yes.
Okay, all right, let's do that.
8:30 is fine again.
8:45.
8:45.
8:45, okay.
Is the IT committee going to take a look at this? Do you know? Who's the head of the IT? Who's,
Well, there's no head, I do the minutes, but it's John usually facilitates.
okay,
And there's a representation from every department.
okay. It'd be nice if we could have a recommendation from the IT committee.
Okay. I mean, John and
If he
I,
agrees with, if they agree with John, or if there's something
Okay.
that's,
we'll get the quote and everything, and I'll email it to people and
Yep.
get their input.
okay,
Okay?
all right. You can work it out with John.
November 23rd?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
Thank you.
okay, good, thank you. Yes?
Yeah, ask John a question. The sheriff's department equipment that you've seen, was it, I know you said there was, you were 4 updates behind. Was it, and I read in some minutes that the server couldn't handle the email. This computer system was lauded as